The Dolphins defense comes through with a masterclass performance. The offense struggles, but gets just enough done in the end to get the win for the Miami Dolphins. And let's face it, Tua just did not have a good night, but the Miami Dolphins did enough to squeak out the 23-15 win in primetime over the Los Angeles Rams. You know what time it is. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Victory! Let's get into it.
Loses the football. Touchdown!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown.
And he will score.
Field on the near side, man open. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's going up for a touchdown. He's in. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! Someone's got to say it. The Miami Dolphins are 3-6, have had this rough of a start, and they're only a game and a half behind the 7th seed Denver Broncos, who sit at 5-5 in the final wild card spot. Think about that for a second. The Miami Dolphins are right there, and they've got two very winnable games coming up with, of course, the Raiders this week, and then after that, the New England Patriots. And in fact, I'll be at the Raiders game, and hopefully I see some of y'all out there. But the Miami Dolphins, it wasn't pretty, but they got it done. Shout out to Cameron Thomas for becoming a brand new channel member. I appreciate you. It was not pretty, but they did enough, and they got it done. Tua Tagovailoa, 20 of 28, 207 yards, a touchdown, and interception. But when you look beyond that, he also had the fumble that he lost. He took some terrible sacks. Tua, listen, you know, in your little pregame interview with Jeff Darlington, you said it was about you staying healthy. Well, my friend, you have got to get rid of the ball. You got to get rid of the ball. Because you're not only going to get yourself killed, your sacks are killing this team, taking them out of field goal range, et cetera, et cetera. That's my biggest pet peeve with Tua. And when you really see Tua's inconsistencies, you know, shine bright like a diamond, is when he tries to play his hero ball. When Tua Tagovailoa tries to do everything. That's not your game, sir. That's not your game. Amanda says they can get in at 9-8, in my opinion. I hope so. Tua deserves criticism, but the last two drives were huge. Yeah, I mean, those two field goals to keep, I mean, they wouldn't have reached us anyways because we would have won 17-15. But you're right. And maybe they wouldn't have taken that field goal with some time left, and they just would have, you know, tried to score and win that. But you're right. You know, that 11 play, 51-yard drive that led to a field goal. I mean, well, look at he was huge in the second half, really. I mean, we had three straight scoring drives, and then we ran the clock out. So, you know. Topher comes through with the 1999 super sticker. Topher is loving life right now as he's out in LA, just giving it. He's so hyped right now. He's just giving it to the Rams fans outside of SoFi right now. He's just letting them know Tua's the man. Tua's better than Stafford. He's letting them know exactly what time it is. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man. Hey, I am not gonna get into the politics, Topher. You ain't gonna, that's bait, my friend. You ain't gonna pull me in. But yeah, Tua, dude, listen. Before I jumped on here, I was on the phone, and that play Tua where he evaded the sack with the spin move and then made the throw. I mean, great stuff. Great stuff. I mean, he made some throws in the end there that we needed him to make. Shout out to Sean Heller. Sean Heller just came through and he said, you know what? Let me gift 5 Finside the NFL memberships. Hammer, Dolph Will, All Miami, Live by Faith, and Joey Vegas, all recipients of those memberships. And shout out to Penn Astridge. She came through and she had a bunch of different membership giveaways in the live chat tonight. Chop got his 2nd sack. K-Jax, don't worry. I'm getting your chopper. I was just busy this week, but I'll get it out to you before I leave for Florida this week. So I'll get it out for you. Unless you're going to the Raiders game, then I can hand it to you. But Chop, 2nd sack in a row. And I know I've brought it up in the film breakdowns, but I hope me bringing it up has made you guys aware of it and open your guys' eyes to it. How did these tackles keep getting away with these holds on Chop Robinson? Like, these holds are ridiculous. Like, I don't know what else to say. These holds are terrible, and they're constantly getting away with them on Chop. Reason this play calling is getting so pedestrian. I think the problem was with the run game is we really suffered tonight. Lamb wasn't that great tonight. I don't think anyone except Teron Armstead was good tonight on the offensive line. We're out here praising the offensive line with how good they've been the last couple of games, and they didn't have a very good night tonight. Let me be the first to tell you that. They did not have a very good night tonight by any stretch of the imagination. Lamb was not good tonight. Jones was not good tonight. Brewer probably had his worst game of the season. Eichenberg wasn't good. Teron Armstead was the only good lineman tonight. This is a good question now. Do you think the Dolphins should go try to pick up X-Man? And obviously referring to Kendall Fuller suffering another concussion. Austin Jackson is not out for the rest of the year. No, he's just out for the next 4 games. Remember, McDaniel said in front of the podium this past week that he doesn't think it's season ending. And I agree with Scott. No Ingold, that showed up in the running game today. For sure. The loss of Ingold and, the poor offensive line play tonight showed up in the run game. But that's just the truth. I thought, again, all offensive. I thought Brewer wasn't good. I wasn't impressed from anyone tonight other than Teron Armstead, really. Hats off to Weaver's defense, 110%. Man, you got to keep it objective over here. I've called them out the last 2 weeks for their play in the second half. They were fantastic tonight. But what still holds true is this. We cannot get both units clicking at the same time. For some reason, I don't know why, both of these units just cannot be clicking at the same time. Like, we need them. We need hey, mate, you want to make the playoffs and save it for the playoffs and the stretch in the playoffs? By all means, do it. But for us to do anything this year of significance, you're going to need to enter the playoffs and have a stretch where the offensive line and the defense are clicking at the same time. I say that, and then we know the special teams and Danny Crossman will let us down. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. Safest bet, you need to win out. Safest bet, you can only afford one more loss. But you've got to go 7-1 at worst the rest of the way. On top of that, when you look at the playoff picture, right, you're going to need the Broncos, the Colts, and the Bengals to struggle. And what's crazy is with the Colts, they've kind of got a tiebreaker over us now, right? Now, the Colts, you know, we should have beat them, man. But right now we're 10th. Broncos hold the 7th seed at 5-5. Chargers hold the 6th seed at 6-3. Ravens hold the 5th seed at 7-3. And the Chargers are playing good football right now. They're just playing simple football. They're not asking Herbert to do a lot. Just take care of the ball. Don't turn it over. Make plays when they present themselves, etc. You know, now when you look at our remaining schedule, I've said this, I think we have the tough games we have remaining, in my opinion, on our schedule are the Packers and the Niners. The Raiders we should beat. The Patriots we should beat. The Jets we should beat twice. The Browns we should beat. The Texans, the way they're playing, we should beat them. But it's the 49ers and the Packers games. I feel like you can only afford to lose one of those. So we'll see. That period of time without Tua really hurt this team. Really hurt this team. And so the Dolphins are now 1.5 games back. And if you think about it, we're only one out in the loss column. We've got 6 losses. The Broncos in 7th, they have 5. It's these teams ahead of us have played one more game than us. You know, I just thought the offense wasn't so good. I think, you know, again, we saw that inconsistent Tua in prime time, and that hurts. And apparently in the locker room right now, the Dolphins are celebrating and they're blasting Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Malik's an impact player, baby. I told you all this. How about that boy, Chop? All these people that were talking all this smack about Chop Robinson, where are you now? Where are you now? All of you with your microwave society mindsets couldn't give the kid time to find his way. And now 2 games, 2 sacks. And you know what? Today we saw a defense that has the ability to win you games. This defense plays like, listen, this defense plays like it did tonight. And the offense plays like it did against Arizona and Buffalo. They could win out on this remaining schedule. And I mean, look at tonight, Tua. You know, yeah, Tua wasn't good, but look at what he did on 3rd down tonight. Look at what he did on 3rd down. 6 for 11 on 3rd down tonight were the Miami Dolphins, I believe. Let me double check that. So the Dolphins were 6 for 13, I apologize, on 3rd downs tonight. Okay. All 6 of those converted first downs were Tua throws. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 6. Tua made plays. I'll give him that much. I'm not going to hate on him. He made plays. What a big win. What a big win. I want to put it in the chat right now. I'm going to do that right now. Let's do this. I want to know in the chat right now, do you think the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs? Do the Dolphins go on a run and make the playoffs? I'm going to pull the chat, put it in the chat right now. I want to see what you guys say. We'll start that poll in the chat right now. Go vote on that poll. Do they go on a run and make the playoffs here? This is a big win. This could be big for the confidence of this room. OBJ, huge third down conversion. That's what we brought him in here to do. Love it. Julian Hill missed a couple blocks, but other than that, didn't take any back-breaking penalties. You know what I'm saying? Huge. Huge. You know what I mean? Absolutely massive. So I love seeing what Chop's coming through. I love seeing, you look at the Sealer comes back, makes an impact right away. And listen, you want to know a silver lining no one's talking about? We're finding a way to win a game, and Tyreek Hill didn't even have 20 yards receiving tonight. The problem right now you're going through with Cam Smith is you are going through rookie growing pains in year 2 because he got no reps. That's the issue. That is the issue you are going through right now. And I've talked about this. You are going through year 1 issues. All because he didn't get any reps. And I see Daddy Dean's question about the only penalty we took tonight. Was it Daddy Dean? Someone asked about penalties. Who was asking about penalties? Oh, it was Lemony. The only penalty we took tonight was Siren Neal on special teams. He went out of bounds. That's the only one we took tonight. So technically the offense and the defense didn't have a penalty. Now, it sucked, that penalty, because if you look at that penalty, I believe it was unsportsmanlike conduct, cost us 15 yards. So, but that was the one penalty in the game we took. Discipline. Look at this. Discipline. What is this team right now? What's happening? Let's go. Let's go. You just got to stay locked in, and you got to execute tonight. And you did, and now you got to stay locked in. You got to keep executing week in, week out. Every week is a playoff game. Let me tell you this. You know what would be really good about if this team makes the playoffs? And again, that's what you're thinking right now. But if they make the playoffs, they'll be ready for a playoff game because every game, their back's against the wall. Every game is a playoff game. Remember, the Rams are no walk in the park. They just come off winning 3 in a row. And it's not like they came off beating nothing but jabronis. They beat the Seahawks, who beat us. They beat the Vikings. And before that, they did beat a jabroni and the Raiders. But they beat the Vikings and the Seahawks back-to-back. And then earlier in the season, they beat the 49ers. The Cardinals blew them out 41-10. So, they barely lost to Detroit to start the season. They're a good team, and they're a talented team. So let's go. DBs need to tighten up and they need to get healthy. So we are in playoff mode right now. Every game is the playoffs. That's a great thing. If this team can get it together and get to the playoffs, well, they'll be ready for the playoff atmosphere and the playoff pressure because they had been living it. If the injuries are piling up, though. The injuries are starting to pile up. That's for sure right now when you break it down. So, anyways, let's get into this. Let's get into Tua. He was live at the podium earlier, and this is what went down.
Of this team with the external noise, everyone counting us out. Hopefully this is an opportunity for us to not waste. Hopefully we can go on a run with this win and find our rhythm towards the back end of the season now.
You guys' confidence level as far as being, like you said, go on that run using this to catapult you guys into next week and trying to get it up.
I would say the confidence is always there, but to be able to see the product out there, to see what we can do and play complementary football in that sense. When we turn the ball over, the defense is able to hold them and minimize the points that they score, and vice versa. When the defense gives us opportunities, we're able to take advantage of that. So, I think this is something that we can continue to build on. We can continue to grow on, and we'll look at all the things we need to fix. But I think for the most part, it's hard to win in this league. We're going to enjoy this win.
What worked early on that first drive to score, and then also after a few turnovers, then how did you bounce back in the second?
Continue to play the game. That's it. Continuing to trust what I see.
Speed racer.
Mike just called the game how he's seen it. And it's my job to go out there and execute it to the best of my ability. I think they had a pretty good game plan with their tricky twos and using those corners as the run fit guys as well. So, I think they had a really good game plan against us tonight.
You spread the ball around to 8 different receivers. Now, was that by design, or is that what the defense was giving?
That's just what the defense was giving us tonight. Yep.
How are you feeling overall, third game back since coming off IR back tonight?
Mm-hmm.
When they put a tackle, how are you feeling overall?
Yeah, I feel good. Everything's good. I went up to that dude that intercepted me and asked him, like, bro, you couldn't just ran out of bounds or cut back. It's like, you seen me and I seen you. Like, you wanted to just run me over. He told me after the game there was there's no room there. There was nowhere else to go. So, he got to do what he got to do to help his team win games. And I wasn't planning on using my head to go hit him.
So your shoulder down there, but I guess his leg kind of did kick the side of your head. You never felt any other effects from it?
Nah, I didn't feel any of that. That was pretty bad tackling for him, though. That was pretty terrible.
This man's joking about
It's
this.
kind of another indication that you kind of all the way back, you're in it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I would say for myself, my confidence level from the time I came back against the Cardinals had never wavered from the first game I played against the Jaguars. I think when you're out there, the game is too fast for you to think of anything else. And if you start thinking of anything else, it's hard for you to focus on your job. So let's go out there, play football.
So you talked about playing complementary football. How much level lift does it give you when the defense is able to get the ball right back?
Gives us a huge lift. Now we got to do our job as well, not turn the ball over, try to eliminate those, and stay on the field and put some points on the board. Got to continue to find ways to do that. I think we did some really good things in the second half with adjusting to what they've shown us in the first half, but it got to happen a little quicker.
You got to play a couple of shootouts your first 2 games back. How nice did it feel to have the defense step up the way if they keep the Rams out of the end zone?
Well, the defense has a job, and we have a job as well. And like I said, we got to continue to put points on the board, and that's just the confidence that we all have in each other. So we're going to enjoy this win. This is going to be a fun captain's meeting, players-only meeting come this Tuesday. when we get back.
So look, there's no secret that you're the straw that stirs this drink. When you came back, it felt like it really did uplift the team. And I've never heard players talk about a quarterback the way your teammates. Tyreek Hill's been viral for it. Jonathan Smith, especially on the podcast. Mentally, just what does it feel like, man, to have that type of love and that type of admiration from your teammates from the top down in the entire franchise as a franchise quarterback?
Well, I would say for me growing up, none of this had been because of me. Like my faith is what I would say is what holds me true to who I am. And I mean, it's been nothing but God. Like I've been very blessed since a child. You know, I've been really good since I was little. And it's been by the grace of God and, you know, my faith, being able to rely on prayer, rely on all of that, rely on him when times get tough and all of that. But, you know, I would say it's definitely cool that my teammates look at me and admire me in that sense and whatnot. All glory be to God, man. Like, that's the reason I'm standing in front of you guys. That's why I'm still playing. Like, and that's the reason I get to continue to play this game, man. So that's what I would say.
It's been a tough year for Tyreek, for him to get into the end zone. What can that do for him and maybe get him going a little bit?
Tyreek's a dog. Like, going from Mr. 2K last year, everybody talking about him, to like, will he hit 1,000 yards? Will Jalen hit 1,000 yards? Like, Jalen, a dog too. Like, coming into this game, I mean, they could have easily said, like, dude, just continue to throw the ball, even if they're in a too high shell. But I mean, those guys are in it, man. They're just in it to win it. Anything that they got to do to help us, blocking, like, I mean, they're going up to Mike and telling Mike we should run this run call, you know, because I can get a chip on this guy, or I can do this to that guy, and it'll open up lanes. So, you know, I mean, it just tells you a lot about the guys that we're playing with out there.
Or you wouldn't have him in this game when he dealt with that wrist injury before?
I mean, anytime you get somebody like that and of that caliber out, it's tough. You know, it was tough. I mean, we found out literally last night whether he was going to play or not. So it's kind of nerve-wracking, if you will. But he was able to play, and that was cool.
How do you build on this tour? I mean, you guys have not been able to get the snowball
Mhm.
down the hill. How do you continue to steamroll success?
Yeah. Well, I would say for us, it's sort of it's not your job mentality. I don't know if you guys heard that story of 4 people. Everybody, anybody, somebody, and nobody. Well, I can't tell it because I don't have the quote, but it's a story about those guys, but sort of the mentality of it's not your job. If everybody's not going to do it, anybody's not going to do it. Somebody's going to figure out that, okay, anybody didn't do it. Everybody doesn't care about it. I'm not going to do it. And eventually nobody's going to end up doing it, right? So it's sort of the mentality of, dude, this is my job. Like, if that's his job, that's not my job. This is what I got to focus on. I got to put all the thinking, all my skills into that and go about that. So I would say we find our rhythm in that, and you know, started with this game. Thanks, guys.
So there you go. There is Tua Tagovailoa at the podium. Love to see it. Great stuff from the captain. I mean, Dolphins just keep doing the damn thing right now. I love it. I love it. I love what we're seeing. I love what we're seeing from the Miami Dolphins right now. Let's keep stacking these wins, baby. Holy jeez. Holy jeez. Huh? Let's keep stacking these wins. And in case you didn't see it, it's out there right now for you. Yeah, check this one out. You want to see something interesting? Watch this. So here we go. Where are you? You are right. when you look at Mina Kimes right here and what she's saying, you look at it. Let me bring it in here. The Dolphins have the second easiest schedule remaining in the NFL per FTN Fantasy. They can definitely get back in this thing. It ain't over, baby. It is not over. Don't think for a sec it is over. These next, you cannot afford to lose one. You lose one of these next 2 games, you might as well pack it up. You might as well pack it up if you lose one of these next 2 games. I mean, seriously. Let's be real here. If you lose one of these 2 games, you deserve to even be in the playoff conversation. You got the Raiders and the Patriots. You've got to take care of business, plain and simple. So right now, the Dolphins have the second easiest schedule remaining in the NFL. It ain't over. The fat lady ain't warming up just yet. And man, you can see that this is so easily fixable if you get to the draft. Just shore up this interior. If you get 2 competent guards, one on each side of Aaron Brewer, watch this line flourish. Watch this offense flourish. Hog Wild says Van Noy has talked up to on a podcast after he was traded. Said he loved Tua. He had a problem with Flores, and Flores tried using his name against Tua to the media in secret. Link that to me, bro. Inside the NFL at gmail.com. I'd love to see that podcast. Will 9-8 get the last spot? Because that means a team like the Broncos at best goes 4-3 over the final 7 games. I think you need to get to 10 wins. Told all y'all who were my 2 crushes in this draft. Jaden Daniels and Drake May, and they look like they're the 2 best guys in this draft. And what's crazy is, I don't know if you saw the report, but Pretty Ricky was out there today saying that apparently Bears players find Caleb Williams weird and lazy. Just saying. Listen, that's what's great about if you win these next 2 games and you have a chance to head into Thanksgiving to get back to 500, you truly control your own destiny. Let me know if you're coming out, Big Heck, because I'll be down there. All right? I'll be down there, so let me know. Denver plays KC, Cincy, Chargers, Falcons, Indian, Browns. That'll be tough. I agree with that. That'll be tough. Yeah, I could see easy 3 losses, 4 losses out of those 6. Definitely was a big game for the defense. Not even a question. They really responded to the last 2 weeks and how they haven't been that good in the second half. So let's get into McDaniel. He's at the podium. Let's get into what he's saying.
Our defense really galvanized the whole team, and I think it's very, very difficult to keep that offense out of the end zone. And I think it might have been like the second time Matt Stafford with the Rams had not had a touchdown, or they had.
I just got a ticket with Jen, brother. I don't know.
It's difficult to do. I think the jump off point was 3rd.
Nice, Jeff. We got a link. You got to bring some of your baked goods, bro. I got to try that.
Did a great job with having a way to attack the guys, and I thought, collectively it was the best execution of what we were trying to get done. So it was a very, very important game for our team. Just to be on the heels of 3 losses, 2 on the final moments of the game, and I think that's something that we can
Link
build
me,
upon
Chef
moving
Jew,
forward.
right there. FinsideTheNFL at
When
gmail.com.
you get a guy like Zach Sealer back and he makes a play like the one he made, the first defensive play of the game. I know you said that the defense really galvanized the team as a whole, but that play specifically, what do you think it did for momentum?
No, I think you go
Brother,
in,
he stretches
you
out
go through the
answers
week.
like a
You're
dealer in
correcting
the
some
80s
stuff
stretching out
from the
an 8
previous
ball.
game,
Holy jeez.
and I think the guys felt a lot of confidence in terms of where they were building. And
I
then
agree.
getting a couple
In the second
guys,
half, clock management wasn't
key
good.
guys back. I think that was a very effective reminder of, hey, we've been doing this without a couple guys, and Sealer is such an important part of what we do. So it was absolutely a momentum capturing moment where guys were fired up to have one of the most important pieces of the unit back on the field and making plays immediately.
You know what time it is, YP.
At this portion of the season, trying to get to where you're trying to get to, what does it feel like as a head coach? You have two guys like that on the other side of the ball that can, they're locker room guys. They perform on the field. They do everything the right way. What does it feel like just to have those type of guys at this portion of the season going into the gut of an NFL season?
Well, it's monumental for me to have those teammates, where you can lean on those guys to understand what needs to be done and to help. The best leadership that exists is within the locker room. So the quality of players, where the things they've done and continue to do in their careers, the teammates can't help but listen and follow suit, so that when you talk about the standard of how you go into a game where your record, you may feel as though it doesn't indicate the quality of the team. It's so important for guys, for the team to be able to execute and show that if they feel that way. So you really need veteran players to really guide you through the adversity in the NFL season, and I think that's paramount. I think that was on display tonight, for us.
Coming back from those first half turnovers, and did you have to tell them something about not using your head, shoulder, make a tackle?
No, I think the best way to do that is not to throw it to the opponent. These are the moments that I can feel the growth from the 3 years the most, is where something doesn't go well, or something, Tua gets so mad at himself and holds himself to a high standard, but he's also recognizing that he's the franchise quarterback of this team. So you can't go too deep into your own self-lashing. You have to lead and you have to move on from things, good or bad. So I thought he did a very good job of taking those L's, so to speak, and not having it affect his play.
I don't know, man. He could have thrown it away
as he progressed and moved forward through the game. So I was
didn't take a good job taking those L's on the sacks.
The adversity, but that's not really the case in NFL football. You have to be ready to pick yourself back up and go at it with gusto.
Jenna earlier talked about communication and how effective it was tonight. Seeing guys be able to communicate, know where they're supposed to be and whatnot. How pleased were you about the communication on the field tonight versus the last couple of weeks that you got involved?
Well, it's something that's paramount to to playing defense.
Might have a point there,
together,
Ruckus.
The way we'd like to. It's something that has been one of the lead things of focus, since we've got here. And, that was a huge part we felt that had been responsible for some of the negative plays that we've been having. So to, that's all you ever want as a coach, is to have your position coaches and coordinators emphasize the right stuff, and then players follow through with the execution of those points of emphasis. So very, very important, especially when you're playing a good team. That's something that we are skilled at doing, and I look forward to guys latching onto that and moving forward. Best assessing and attacking opponents by emphasizing and then executing, which is what that was tonight.
Was it with Tyreek with the wrist?
I agree, YP. He had time to get rid of that ball.
No, it's he's a warrior. He's captain of this team, and as good as it gets in this league that's full of star players. So it didn't necessarily surprise his teammates, I don't think.
I thought offensively we weren't good in the trenches.
Based upon his relationship with them and what he means to the team. So it was you don't know how a person's body is going to respond, but all things equal, Tyreek Hill wills himself to do things that most competitors can't match. So it's one of the reasons that he's great.
For a season your teams have never had a losing record, you're digging yourselves out of a hole like this. Do you consider yourself confident that what you guys have established in this program and organization is good enough to get you out? Is it more hopeful that that'll happen? How would you describe kind of that?
I would say that you have firm belief and from that you don't just create out of thin air. You base it upon the teammates that you have and the type of football you think you're capable of playing. And I think with anyone, you don't have the expected or
appreciate you, Joseph.
You don't have the results that you're kind of striving for. I think you maintain your confidence by taking hard looks at everything you're doing and critically assessing.
I think everyone was bad on the offensive line tonight except Armstead, YP.
What that does is it ends up giving you more conviction in everything you're doing because you've combed it more. I think that's something that is across the board, been very prevalent with this team all season. So I think it's nice that the team has shown it as opposed to just talked about it and I think everyone's very confident because they've been working hard at getting it right. So you feel that much more convicted and invested in all of it.
So for Kendall Fuller, second concussion the same season, and then what happened with Cater Coven's quick evaluation was able to build up?
We'll take a look at Kendall for sure. That's obviously not ideal in any way, shape, or form. So the most important thing is that we get all the feedback from the experts and make sure that his health is okay. And so that timeline will be open-ended for sure as that goes. And then Cater, had a knee-to-knee situation that definitely spooked him. Fortunately, our training staff assessed that there was no
damage,
looseness, or issues with the knee.
Just say damage, bro.
Back in, he's a big part of our defense, and I think one of the reasons why we had an effort that we felt like was more to our standard. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, someone needs to tell him, brother. Shorten it down into less words. You can say more with less sometimes, Jeez. So, I don't know. McDaniel there, you get he's not willing, to call out deficiencies where, I think this offensive line tonight, like I said, I thought everyone was bad except Armstead. I thought Brewer probably had his worst game as a Dolphin. I thought Eichenberg really struggled. I thought Robert Jones really struggled. He gave up one of those sacks clean. I thought Kendall Lamb wasn't very good tonight. I mean, Patrick Paul was only in for 1 or 2 snaps. And then, because Kendall Lamb hurt his hand tonight. So now are we going to have an issue at right tackle? Now are we going to have to force Patrick Paul to the right side and play him? And people need to realize it is not ideal when you play like this guy is built to be a left tackle. Now you gotta lead with your, into your kick slide, with your hands, with everything. You gotta lead with your other side now. So that's going to be a tough one for Patrick Paul as a rookie. That's going to be a tough task, a tough ask for him. And because, we got at least 3 more games without Austin Jackson, right? He's on IR, meaning he's got to miss 4. So we're down 1. He's got to miss at least 3 more games. So he's going to miss the Raiders game. He's going to miss the Patriots game after that. And then after that, he is going to miss the Jets game, I believe, right? Sorry, no, the Packers game. The Jets are after the Packers. So he's at least going to miss the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Packers. Hopefully he's back for the Jets. And, Isaiah Wynn, I've seen him mentioned a couple times in the chat tonight. Remember, I warned you guys all the way back. I was one of the first people breaking what was going on with Wynn and talking about how his season was really up in the air. I had this on the Patreon and on the channel page for under the community tab for channel members only. I had this months ago. That's why I'm not sitting here stressing or crying over Wynn, because I know how up in the air it really was. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath for Isaiah Wynn. But it's kind of crazy tonight how just Jackson being out, like one piece of this offensive line that's been really good the last couple of games, one piece goes out and everything basically fell apart except Taron Armstead. And I've been saying this, like Brewer. I've been talking about how good Brewer's been all year. But I've also said, imagine how much better Brewer can be with a competent player on each side of him. Like, think about how good Robert Jones could be if he had Isaiah Wynn and Robert Hunt next to him. And then now Robert Jones goes out and he had to deal with Lester Cotton next to him. Gets even worse. This offensive line has got to stay healthy, and they've got to be better than what they were tonight if we're going to make a run. Because, yeah, should we beat the Browns? Probably. But you know what? They got a really good defensive front. They could make things a nightmare for us. And I agree with what TE says about Jackson's athletic ability on screens and stretches being his greatest asset. Agreed, 110%. And it wasn't even that we just couldn't attack the edges tonight, TE. They weren't getting, because Eichenberg and Brewer and Jones were all suffering and struggling tonight, we couldn't get gap penetration really. Like, let's be honest, we couldn't really get our longest run of the night tonight was what? The 37-yard Achane. No, not even. The 18-yard Malik Washington run for a touchdown. And then Achane had a 15-yard run. Achane held to 37 yards. Achane held to rushing and 15 yards receiving. Only 52 yards from the line of scrimmage. They had a good game plan. I really can't wait to dive into L22 and see how they attacked us, because he was talking about all the cover 2 disguises they were using on him. So, but we just couldn't get it going through the gaps or off the edge. That was the reality for tonight. It is what it is. But, man, for a team that has just been running the ball down teams' throats lately. And remember, the Rams were not a strong defense coming into this game, people, against the run or the pass. They just had a really good game plan for us when you break it all down, right? They just had a really good game plan for us. That's all there is to it. So, but if you look at them heading into this game, I mean, we went over it, during my keys to victory and such, right? So, if you look at them heading into this game today and where they were ranked, I mean, there's just nothing super impressive about them at all. I mean, you look at, total defense. They were 24th. Against the pass, they were 23rd. Against the rush, they were 24th. Scoring defense, they were 22nd. We scored about 1.3 points less than what they're averaging. If you look at what we gained in the passing game, I won't include the sacks that take away, 36 yards. But, they're allowing about 225.6 yards per game passing. We had 207. Rushing, they were allowing 135 yards coming into today. We only had 67. We had literally half of that. So we had a defense that was looking weak, ripe for the picking. And it is what it is. We just didn't take it to them like we all thought we would have. Cameron Cook says they should have gave Mostert some touches. Honestly, I think McDaniel was sending a message. Mostert didn't have a single rush tonight. I think they were sending Mostert a message for those key fumbles he's had the last 2 weeks. And if that's the truth, I got to commend them. I got to commend them. I have to. I have to commend them. Seriously. If that's what you were doing and sending a message that these mistakes in these critical moments won't be tolerated, I'm here for it. So, yeah, I agree. We should have ran them out of their own building tonight. We should have won that game probably 37-15. It is what it is. So, yeah, the Waddle drop was brutal. The Waddle drop was absolutely brutal. Like, what else can you say about that Waddle drop? And I think you noticed the loss of Inglewood and the poor offensive line play tonight showed up in the run game. I really think that's true too. So the injuries are piling up. And they continue to pile up. I really thought we were going to lose Kohu and Fuller both tonight in one game. I was like, I was gonna lose my mind. Like, are you serious? What kind of luck is that? Kind of luck is that? So, man. Guys, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Dolphins get the big win. They squeak out a 23-15 win over the Los Angeles Rams. Man, that was a tough one. But I'll take it. Now this offense needs to get its ish back together. All right? Needs to get its ish back together. Need to light up the Raiders. Need to light up the Patriots. Don't become a victim to Drake May. Please, God. Pyro's out of his hole. He's loving life. Just do not be a victim to Drake May and the Patriots. Okay? That's all I got to say. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. It's almost 12:30. I'm getting out of here. I appreciate all of you for tuning into the live reaction and to the post game. I will see each and every one of you tomorrow for the recap show, and we'll talk about all the news that comes out of the game. And then we got some film this week. Fin Too Deep returns, the preview, and then I will be down for the Raiders game. All right. So a lot of content coming your way. Appreciate all of you. We back in the W column, baby. 3-6 with 2 really easy games on the schedule, and a chance to get back to 500 on Thanksgiving is definitely we're staring down the barrel at. So let's get there. Fins up all day, every day. Dolphins squeak out on ugly win, but a win is a win. And they're hard to come by this league, and we'll take it. See y'all in the next one. Fins up all day, every day, baby.